Hello everyone, it's Monica from Mystique Lashes. Today I wanted to talk to you about creating fans. I've got a nice workshop that I'm organising quite often where people come in and sort of we discuss how to make fans. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you how you could sort of create the fans in a different way for Russian volume. So what you could do is what I normally do. I use tweezers like this just to make sure that they're kind of catching really well, so make sure the sticking point is there. So when you sort of look in here, you have to make sure that that sticks very well, otherwise it'll be letting through all the loose lashes, so it won't be catching properly. So once you've got a really good pair of tweezers and you make sure that you haven't dropped them and they're really pointy and they're sticking well, what you want to be doing is you kind of want to brush the lashes and just see how many lashes are in there. Let me see if I can get this on a different angle for you just so you can see it. So what I normally do is I normally just brush the lashes to establish how many lashes are in there. Once I've got enough lashes that I want in my fan, I kind of almost pull them to the side a little bit and then I start wiggling them about. What I'm using here is Mystique Lashes, just because I really enjoy working with them, but you can see that they're sort of a different length. So sometimes the fan will not be quite how you want it. So what you could be doing is you could use a little lash palette, or you could use just a tape and a blob of glue, and I'll show you how to do it. I've got because sometimes these fans are actually fixable, so if something like this happens to you, you can actually fix this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I do this, just so if this happens to you, you know exactly what to do. So what I'll do is I'll just pop a quick blob of glue onto one of my pads, and then I'll show you how we could possibly fix this. Not always it's possible, but it's worth a try, especially if it takes you a while to create fans. It is worth trying. Right, so I've got this glue here. I'm actually using this really cool crystal tray, but this is what I've been doing earlier, sort of just playing around with volume and with fans. So I've got a little blob of glue here on my other tray. So what you could do is see if you can, once you dip it, will the lashes actually come together? You need to let go just ever so gently, and you can see that they're kind of starting to open up. You don't really want to go too deep because you don't really want to be creating a sort of a T-bar at the base. So sometimes you are able to actually fix it. So if you see here, that's not quite what you want. So see if you can stretch it out. If you can't, you just ignore it, you leave it, because that's not your perfect fan. That's not what you want to be putting on a client, really. So well, let's have a look if we can make another one. And then, sometimes people think, these eyelash extensions just take a while to create. But actually, if you think about it, it takes a while to create every single fan perfectly. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to dip that in really gently and see if I can place it on here, and you can see the difference. So always bear in mind that you don't really want the leg to be too long, because you want it to be nicely open. It just looks a little bit different with Mystique Lashes, just because obviously the length of those lashes is different. But you can see the difference now between this one and that one. The spaces here are even in between all the lashes, where here those two lashes are too close together, so it's not giving you quite a look that you want for your clients, because you need to make sure that all your fans are uniform, that they're all perfect how you want them, because then it's going to give you a really nice uniform look. So again, we're stroking the lashes, we're seeing how many we've got. So if you wanted to go for 2D, there we go. So I just wiggle it there we go. So you can see now what happened is the base opened up. So sometimes you'll be able to fix this by literally dipping in and the bases sometimes, there you go, and they go back together. So all you want to do then is just place it on. So sometimes it happens that you don't actually have to get rid of the fan. There you go, and it's perfect. Sometimes you don't have to get rid of the fan just because the base comes apart. You can literally just literally go into the glue and see if they'll connect back up. So then if we go for 3D, so you're choosing 3 lashes, and again what we're doing is gently rocking backwards and forwards. So I'm going to dip it in again and then put it on and just see whether that's the fan I'd like to have, because I always have to make sure that they fan out nicely. Sometimes they'll open up too much, so obviously you wouldn't use something that opens up too much. This is perfect, so you've got nice opening that's even in between, and you'll make sure that you use all the fans like this for your 3D, all the fans like that for your 2D, 4D and so on. So make sure that you create the uniform look that your clients want. So if you wanted anything bigger, well then sort of stroking again, and as you can see, just by fanning it out, I might turn it like this so you can see. So I'm catching the lashes and then I'm holding how many I want, and then I'm going to rock them backwards and forwards just to make sure that I've got this perfect looking fan. And then once I got there, if it's not working, all you're going to do is just take it off and start again. So that's really not what we want, so get rid of that and you just carry on. So that's one method. So this one method is called rocking. So you literally rock backwards and forwards. Some people call it shimmy, some people call it all sorts of other things. As long as you know you get this perfect fan that comes out, that's what you want, because this is not what you want. So sometimes it takes a little while for you to just get the perfect fan, and there we go. So this one, if you look again at the base, it come apart. So what you want to be doing is you're literally going to be dipping that in. So if you dip it in the glue, let me just see if I can zoom out a little bit so you can see this. So you literally dip it in the glue and ta-da, it all comes together. So then you put it on here again and it creates a perfect fan. So sometimes these sponges can be a bit tricky, but there you go. So it's a perfect fan again. So that's exactly what you want to make sure you're having and you're achieving with your lashes. So that's sort of the option number one. Let's have a look. There you go. So the option number two, really, you've got strip here that you could be using. So some people, what they do is they choose how many lashes they like to use. Once they've decided, they hold quite low down on the lash strip and take the lashes completely off. So that's what they look like when they come off. They then place them on the strip and let go to make sure that the base is quite flat, sort of lying quite flush against the strip. So then what they'll do, they'll gently, with the base of the tweezer, so with this part here, they'll press on the base of the lashes just enough for them to open up. So they'll do this with enough pressure to open the lashes up, and then once they've got that, they've got a really nice fan already, if you can see. And then once that's ready, what they'll do is they'll grab right low just to make sure that they've got tight grip on that it's not closing. Pick it up, dip in the glue, and then that's all ready to go. And there we go, and that's perfect. So everyone's got their own method, everyone has got their own way of doing things, and so as a lash artist you'll find your own way, whichever works for you. Always just make sure that the base isn't too long and it's nice and pointy, it's not creating sort of like a straight line, because that's not really what you want to be doing. The third way you could be fanning your lashes is kind of a mixture of 2. So you're choosing the right amount of lashes, and that comes with practice and with time, where you'll find your own way, and you'll find a way to sort of choose the lashes just by eye. You won't even kind of have to count them because you'll know how many you've got. So some people, what they'll do is they'll hold the desired amount of lashes, pull a little bit or straighten to the side, and then you can already see this is starting to open. So they kind of, again, either stroke them, or once they pull to the side, they kind of separate them, or even shimmy them onto the side. I personally don't use this method, but there you go, it works perfectly. You know, they all work depending on the person. I mean, this one is a little bit more narrow than I'd like it to be. I'm just going to see if I can correct this. Like I said, I don't really use this method very much. So let's have a look. This is not quite right. So I'll do this again. Like I said, I don't use this method very often. It's not my favourite, but again, we can pull it off a little bit, and you can see it's already opening up. Just make sure you use lashes that are quite nice and they separate well, because sometimes they can get a lot of glue on the lash and it's just not doing very well. So when it comes to fanning it out. So again, there we go. So make sure you've got good tweezers so you can catch it very well. And you can see here all the base came apart. But what you want to do, if you just dip it in, see if those bases will come together without adding too much glue. And there we go. So they're coming together nicely. So whenever you do that, you just need to make sure that you let go really ever so slightly of the lashes in your tweezers, just enough for those bases to be able to connect. So just to make sure that you've got a really nice fan. So that's all it is for today, really. So you've got a few options. You can do your rocking method, which is sort of my favorite. You can do your picking up and then placing down, but always make sure you've got quite a sticky tape on here and it's quite securely placed on there, otherwise it will pick up or it will just lift off. Some people like to pull these apart, some people, I mean, that's lost, but some people like to just press on the base, whichever is easier for you. But at least it gives you a little bit of an idea of how you can fan out your lashes. So if at any point you're struggling and you're just thinking, oh, actually this method doesn't work for me, you can try something else, because you don't necessarily have to use the tweezers that I use. These are great for rocking method, but there's other tweezers, you know, you've got your swans and everything else that you could be using for sort of more of this method, where the base is quite thick, so it allows you for a better grip of the lashes. So I hope you found this useful. I'll be doing quite a lot more videos and tutorials on lash application, so stick with me, and if you'd like to see more lashes and more tutorials, then please subscribe, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks very much. Bye.